on that, big boy.
Cheers. All right,
Nice,
the
man.
sun is shining, beautiful
Sun is
weather.
shining, man.
Oh man, what's
And I see sun's out.
sun's out, guns out too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the season.
This the season.
Yeah, I hope it really will start to get more sunny, and more of this beautiful weather as
yeah.
well. I've had enough with the winter.
It's almost too warm already.
I like the warmth. I had enough of the winter. Had a good winter. Unless actually I have one skiing trip left to execute, if you will.
Yep.
In April, then we're going to Ruka
Okay.
to ski for a couple of days. Rented a cabin with some friends and
Okay.
going there for 4 or 5 days. But that's like the last piece of activity I feel I need to do before I can move on to the spring and the summer later on.
Yeah.
Because I really missed. I love the winter. It's actually one of my favorite seasons. But right now it feels like I'm ready to start doing more activities in warmer weather and easier to participate in. As you know, I play a lot of disc golf, which we haven't been able to do as much now when it's been a lot of snow, quite cold weather as well. So have the abstinence for that one right now. So looking forward to it.
I feel like I get more dialed in overall in the summer, you know? Like stuff is just more fluent, not just in the body, but like life in general. And when it comes to the body and when you work out, when it's 25 outside, that feels good. I just feel like my joints are lubed and I feel good, I feel healthy. Can be a little bit more stiff in the winter, I feel, but
I love working out in the summer, especially outside, topless, just doing some bench press, just doing some pull-ups or something like that.
I like when it's so warm that you get drenched in sweat.
Because that's the best, so shiny.
Yeah.
It's like baby oil. And I don't know, more mobile. That's the same if we compare it to disc golf again. One reason why it's harder to play disc golf in the winter, even if you could, is because you're less mobile. You can't do the mobile run up, which I'm doing in the summer and more drier seasons.
Yeah.
You have to do a standstill throw or something like that, and then you won't get the same power, the same performance as you used to before. So, and I also know, actually recently more and more I start to see how sensitive I am to sunlight.
Oh, okay.
Especially when it comes to my mood and mental state, because immediately now when I get that daily natural light, the sunlight, I get in a more happy mood. I'm more motivated to do stuff and things like that.
Sun maxing?
Yeah, sun maxing. Because there's a lot of people that have this stronger winter depression.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see that I might be one of those people. Not getting directly depressed like that, but I surely can feel and see how positively the sun affects me. But now I am as well taking more vitamin D in tablet form as well, so that could be so that could be a part of it as well. But in general, I just feel like it's necessary to get as much sunlight, even if you're taking supplements. It's really important.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
So, what are we gonna get into today?
Today, I thought we would get into some music. One of my domains, both in my private life, but I use it quite a lot in my therapy methods as well. I'm not using licensed music therapy per se, and that's something I actually want to study more in eventually. But I use it as a creative activity for both young people and adolescents or even adults.
Yeah.
And when I work in like psychiatric care, it's mostly like people with ADHD, anxiety disorders, and autism. That is like the most common ones.
Yeah.
And I just feel like music is a really big part of my life, which you already know when you live with me as well. You maybe saw that I use it, not only uses it more, but maybe even need it more for some daily activities and daily functioning. It's like you could function on a ordinary level without it, which it should be like, but it could like maximize a lot of your functions as well. So.
I think for me, I don't have that special connection to music. I'm not a musician. I don't play any instruments. But I utilize music on special occasions when I go, like, for example, to the gym and I really need some extra boost.
Yeah.
I could use the music or something that is nostalgic to me, maybe some Z's music or something like that that gets me going. But otherwise, I'm that complete psychopath listening to nothing in the gym.
Just your inner demons.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that's good too. It got like both sides. There's both sides to everything in general. And we're gonna shortly get into that, like what are the benefits, but also what could be the side effects if you listen to music too much.
Yeah.
And generally some aspects when it comes to neurobiology, what happens in the brain when you listen to music, and the differences between listening as a ordinary like human being if you're not a musician, and then what it happens when you actually play the instruments. So yeah,
take it away, man.
I just thought I would begin with like introducing the music, what it could do. I'm not sure, I don't think you're that well read up on the effects of music, but
a little bit. Well, what I had to do back in the day when we tried to make a study about it.
But we failed. But it was we didn't fail. For those of you who don't know, our first like study that we had to do in
or thesis.
We had to like write, and we chose firstly to write about like how music affects, I think it was young people with autism. ASD, which is a common term for
autism spectrum disorder.
Correct, sir. Then we wrote about that, but then we got to realize that there's not enough new and updated evidence and articles about it. Otherwise, it would have been fine. So that was quite sad, but we had to change it for the principles of the thesis. But in general, it's mostly common that music could drive and regulate emotions, motivation, the drive. And now I'm gonna speak both in the terms of the gym and life as well. It could even also desensitize things, like if you think about pain, fatigue, injuries, you use a lot of music to like decrease the threshold for it. And if we look at something that sports scientists in the UK have demonstrated, they got the evidence that music could improve endurance in sports by 15% and reduce the perceived effort by 12%. Which is pretty amazing to me if you think about it, because
it's rather large.
You could like take away a lot of, as I said, the perceived effort and the pain, which maybe some exercises or some activities regulates. But you should not either like get to that state that you only use music to get all of the bad stuff away, you know. You have to do it with like a balance. I think it's a really helpful tool if you use it from a like healthy standpoint. And it also activates something that I've used myself a lot, still am daily, and that's optimizing flow state. as you may know, or as you know, when we wrote the thesis, there came a lot of like situations where we got like brain fog, or didn't know what we would write about, or how should we like proceed this thesis. We got stuck. So a lot of those times I remember I just put on some classical music or some like more downbeat. For me it's classical music or jazz. I work best with, and that's like calm and music with a beat with a low BPM. Then I just got instantly in that flow state. I could focus like effortlessly, like without being disturbed by other stimuli. And that's what flow is, if you describe it. It's like a state where your awareness gets to that level where you can disrupt outer stimuli. And I also use this as I used back in the days when I work, when I feel like I have to get this done effectively, maybe even fast. I put on some Beethoven, some Mozart or something like that.
I actually do that too, but in a different way. I have to have all the like components or puzzle pieces put in place. Where it is just like the nitty gritty work that has to be done. Like doing the actual work, not like making a plan and getting all the pieces for the work. But when I'm ready to actually put in that work and make a text or anything, then I put on some like epic hype orchestral music. And that gets me in the zone. I type that shit out real quick.
And I do the same in the gym. If you will, it is going to that flow state there as well. Because let's say if I know I'm gonna have a more intensive workout, more volume, more like heavy, especially on the CNS and like the brain and the body as well, I could put on some like powerful orchestral music, not even lyrics or any singing, just some mighty orchestrals. And then I get the like feeling powerful and like mighty. And even if it's could sound still like I want to feel mighty and all that powerful stuff just through music, it really works, because there's a reason why there's so much like music for certain types of behavior. You see right now, you could type on YouTube like music for sleep, music for feeling down, music for happy Friday, anything really. And that's because certain type of music regulates and activates certain types of domains and areas in the brain. And here we could like also discuss what happens in the brain. If we start out with when we're listening to music, let's say if you're at a concert or just listening by yourself, the first things that activates is your like visual cortex. You see the performer, you see the people around you, that connects to the music, you see the instruments. Then the auditory cortex will also like regulate and activates what you like hear, both like your surroundings but also the music you're listening to, maybe the strings on a guitar, something more specific. Then the cerebellum will activate and regulate the emotional part. You connect maybe with a passage of a lyric or something like that, or you connect the music to a positive memory or a negative or more sad memory, if you will, as well. Then even the hippocampus and the memory center will activate and get excited when you listen to music, because that's the main part why I love music. It's not just music for me. I often connect it to something emotional, and that's why I think it's so powerful. And I also think, and this is something I learned when I was in music school in my earlier years, that music isn't just a piece of medium, it's a language. I think Andrew Huberman talked about this as well, but it's a language just as a regular one when we talk to each other through words. And that's why I also use it quite commonly with people with dissociation with communicative skills or ability, like having difficulties in social interactions or skills when it comes to like cognitive and communication types of activities. Because then they don't have to like express themselves through words, because that's quite difficult in the beginning with high functioning ASD. Then they can like express themselves through the music when they play the piano, play the guitar, play the drums. Then they also will learn about and increase their abilities in motor skills.
Yeah.
In any instrument, they will improve memory, focus, attention span, decision making. Because let's say you're playing the piano, you have to be really focused where you put your fingers, because you can't put any fingers on any tile. There's a specific rule, like often you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and when you go back you have to often go like 5, 4, and then you go 1, 2, 3. It's not always the same order in which your fingers are moving in the specific note patterns. So you really have to think about that. And here, this is where the like attention comes in, and the decision making. You have to make a choice, like how you use your fingers to the specific song, and really be attentive to what's going on the piano or the guitar or anything. So it's a really good piece of activity, especially if you start out young. Then you really improve those both motor and cognitive skills as well. Same goes with almost any instrument. You must or need to have a quite good posture, because a good posture also regulates higher functioning in cognitive levels and more alertness, which you need when you're performing with an instrument. So those are some quite mighty like skills you can grasp when playing music. But yeah, in general, it also just regulates positive emotions. It could also like regulates the negative, if that's something you maybe base it off or connects it to. But as for me, I notice this because when I know I have to do something that I find difficult even, I will find it less difficult if I know I can listen to music. Let's say. Because I know I'm not as motivated when I'm supposed to do some daily chores. If you like, let's say, cleaning or doing like not cooking, that's actually quite motivating for me, but just general chores that I don't do on a daily basis. I find the motivation I need when I know I can put on my, like, let's say, cleaning playlist or something like that, because then I put it on, this is a banger, and I connect that piece of music to something positive. Then I get in a good mood, I get motivated to do it effortlessly. And that's like the same thing with the gym as well. But then we could discuss like the side effects, which I have noticed for some time as well, but it's something I've been working on now, which I don't repel from anymore. And that's by listening to it too much, because I have like a playlist for anything. I have a cleaning playlist, I have a playlist when I shower, I like for any specific activity, and that's because it gets more enjoyable for me, and that's fine. But what happens is when you solely depend on music, like you can't do anything without it, then it like deflects and limits your daily life, and that's not what we want. We want to be independent human beings, and it also could alter your ability for attention. Again, I go back to that, because when let's say we got our headphones on going to work, going to the gym or anywhere, you drown out outside noises, and you only have your like music, but you have no clue what's going on. You can see, but your auditive stimuli is so important when it comes to like noticing things and things like that. And when the attention decreases by this, it also affects your like sense of reality sometimes.
You become disconnected.
Yeah, that's something I noticed like late last year. I listened to music anywhere. I've been doing that for a long time, not just last year, but I decreased it then. Then I started to notice my attention span went up. I had more cognitive focus. I was actually like part of everything that went on. I was that before as well, but not as much as I was without music. But I still use it a lot, but not like in the extent that I need it. I've removed music from my training sessions. I've only used it now when I'm gonna like max out or perform a like high intensity lift to really hype me up. Before I could like have it on all the time, but now I only use it like for a limited type
like
of
the top set.
Yeah,
or
but
do you have like, do you do it so that this entire workout I'm not gonna use any music, or do you like I'm only gonna use it for these sets, or
right now because it was a part of this like independent era that I'm doing. I removed all of my knee sleeves and belt and all that. I also said I'm gonna remove music. But I didn't remove it all. I haven't used it almost any. It's just if I'm by myself, then I could use it more, because that's also if I'm let's say going to the gym with my girlfriend. I want to be able to talk and converse with her, not listen to music. We could listen to music if we're both doing like a PR or something like that, but it's more if I gym by myself as well. Because I easily find that flow, as I talked about, in the gym as well. And then it gets more effective to perform the sets, because the exercises are quite detailed and technical, and you have to think a lot about like how do I arch, how do I activate the like or retract the scapula or something like that. But that's something that has become quite automatically, so I can still do that without music, but I still feel the benefits are greater when I listen to it. But it has become a more balanced type of tool for me, because in the past I saw it only as a good thing. It had no like negative aspects to it, but there is a good and bad to everything. You can't look past that.
No.
But yeah, I think that's like the big picture of music.
So when did you, like, as a child, start doing music?
I don't recall the exact age right now, but it was kindergarten maybe.
Okay.
I had interest for it almost right away, because I remember we already played in a band in elementary school.
Okay.
Me and my friends from Närpy. Then we also played in all the other like stages in school up until now. Now is actually the time that I have been playing in the least. I still have my piano. I actually sold my other instruments because I'm moving out. I need some more space. Wouldn't mind some extra cash. And those are instruments that I haven't like touched in a very long time. Just instruments that I use to record music or just have fun with. But the piano will never be sold. It will die with me, because
they will put it in my casket.
It was born with me, and I will die with it as well. So and I actually been wondering and thinking about writing more music again. I wrote a lot back in the day, but it has been a while now since I wrote something, so I thought I would pick that up again, just to have some side quests. And we're as you know, we're me and my girlfriend are moving to a bigger apartment in a couple of weeks. So then we will have a extra room to put the more musical stuff and make that even to not a studio, but like reading slash
recreational activity room.
Yeah. So that will be great.
Nice.
Yeah, but overall, I will still use it as much as possible without it having too much dependency on me.
And you mentioned going to music school, which I've also done for like 2 years.
Yeah, you went to the same one.
Not, I don't believe we went at the same time, right?
No, I think you actually even could be before me.
I went when I was like in 5th grade and 6th grade.
Yeah, you were before me. I think I started going not like a couple of years before gymnasium, maybe.
Okay.
So, because I had other activities as I played soccer, tennis, things like that. But then I got music as well, so had to adapt on that front.
Yeah.
But I don't know, did you only have, I believe it was guitar?
I only played the guitar.
Yeah.
I never really practiced or anything like that.
I just played it.
Yeah. I thought it was fun, but I didn't have enough interest to like do it on my spare time because I was a gamer.
Touché.
So I did gaming instead. I thought that was more fun.
Yeah. And that's what you should do. Do what?
Well, should I? I do regret not becoming more proficient at the guitar, or like forced. Maybe if I'd gotten good, I would have liked doing it more, you know. Yeah. But I learned how to read music, how to write music. I don't remember that really that well now anymore, but I did. I think I would pick that part of it up pretty fast because I have it somewhere deep in there, locked away, forgotten.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool, and a cool ability to be able to read music as well and write music.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a skill. Like, you know, you have to harness it. Some people, like, you remember Beethoven.
Yeah.
He got deaf, but he still was able to produce music after he losing his hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had I went to piano lessons like individually. Then I had classes where we like played together in a band. It translated from Swedish to English. It was like band play.
Yeah.
And that was the band I actually played with in elementary school, or even like almost the whole band. Proceeded to that same. So that was great, and I also believe that music could improve and like bring your social networks together. If you are, let's say, someone with more isolated background when it comes to like social interactions, I believe music could be a great way to get around that and work on that, because it may be hard for a lot of people to meet new people just by themselves, like just like that. Then activities like, let's say, music or maybe sports or something like that could be good for like introducing that social network.
Yeah.
I made a lot of friends through only the musical part of my life, which I'm grateful for, and it will always be a part of me. But yeah,
I think we all have, even if we don't realize it, how like important music is. For example, in a game, it sets a certain ambience or stuff. If you're playing a horror game, the music is going to dictate like a little bit. You can tell something is up.
Yeah, I mean, you won't be as scared if you pull out the music.
Yeah, what if there's some clown music? Well, that could actually be terrifying.
It could be more disturbing actually.
Yeah.
So some things, but it like evoke what's about to happening or what's happening.
And you won't notice it if it's like well done. If the music is blended into like a movie or a game really well, then you won't even notice it. You'll just feel it.
Yeah. And one other thing that I believe is a great aspect of music, especially if we connect it to the gym journey, is that it's a great tool for like adapting your stress levels. And your stress levels are quite important when it comes to like neuroplasticity, which further along even is more important for building muscle, things like that. Because when, let's say, we're more stressed, where our body's not recovering as effectively, let's say after a gym session, and by listening to more music we create this like state of like a shield, if you will, for that stress. But we also need to work on the stressors that evokes the stress in the first place. Like not only relying on I'm gonna lower my stress by listening to music, but work on what actually stresses you in your daily life, whether it's in your personal life, at work or something like that. And then you could even maximize that with music. So use it as something to maximize instead of something to rely on to fix something. Because as I said, with the side effects of music, it's not only like decreasing your ability of cognitive levels, but it's also a lot about dopamine addiction. Just like any other drug, but you don't think about it because you don't often see music as something negative. You don't compare music to, let's say, drugs like nicotine, alcohol, or something like that, because it's enjoyable to listen to music. So why would it be bad? So you don't like connect the dots in the same way, but it becomes like the same issue when you seek more and more and more dopamine. And those dopamine baselines become so low that when you get off like dopamine seeking stimuli or stimulants, it becomes like a need for it. Then later on, when the baselines are so low, you get so sensitive to it. So then that becomes a problem. So I believe you have to find your like balance through it all, which not only for music but anything that we seek. That's raising a lot of dopamine.
All right. Think we're gonna have a little bit shorter episode today. This has been very densely packed with music, a little bit of theory, a little bit of practice, a little bit of both. And I think this will enlighten some people, especially like me. I'm not necessarily, I don't dislike music. I like music. I like listening to music, but I don't have that special connection like you. So I think people like me will find this video enlightening. And that I want to say as well before we leave, that this is quite individual. I have this connection to it because I found it meaningful since a very early age. So it will stay meaningful forever, basically. But that doesn't mean it has to be something for you or you who's listening and watching this. But it's out there, and I think it's a good thing to like reflect on, because people often merely sees music as music, something you listen to and that's it. But it's so much more if you can like connect to it, and the emotional value of it is insane if you actually get into it.
And as for training, you just have to find what's meaningful for you and what's your jam, if you will. Because same with the training, I love power building. That's the thing for me, but you maybe prefer more bodybuilding type of approach that works for you. So you have to explore your areas, your domains, and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
So,
but be open-minded, and if you really need some extra help, throw on some tunes, some bangers, crack some caffeine, and get after it.
Yeah, and that I want when you said that. This is the last one, I swear. When I talked about side effects, a lot of people could argue, but let's say you have a lot of anxiety, especially common if you have ADHD or ADD, you have quite overactive mind, but shouldn't you be working on that before you depend yourself on music to like feel better? Yes and no, but it's not that easy, because I feel like to have the energy and to be able to cope with your like emotional stuff, or let's say if it's traumas or
could be
social things, traumas, childhood traumas, stressors in general. Yeah, you need to work on those by yourself without music, but by listening to music you decrease anxiety and all of these that puts your mind at stress. So I feel like it could be a great tool there to have more energy to handle. And
if that's the difference between not being able to handle life and being able to cope with life, then by all means you should use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This was fun.
This was fun. Densed, packed, stacked.
Yeah.
Let's get jacked.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Signing off.
Signing off.